Hey, good morning. Today I want to talk about 3 obstacles to building wealth. These are 3 areas that you need to look at, potential problems that could keep you from wealth building. The first is very simply a spending problem. Okay? Now, what this means is that, hey, if you are spending always more than you make, right, it is very challenging to build wealth because the wealth is really built between the difference of your income, right, and your expenses, right? This gap right here is what allows you to have money to invest and save to ultimately build wealth. And so if one obstacle that many people have to building wealth is a spending problem. A great book on this is The Millionaire Next Door. I remember reading that book about 16 or 17 years old, and it really hit me, and it helped me understand this concept that no matter how much money you make, if you have a spending problem and you always spend more than you make, then there's nothing left over to ever build wealth. And this is why you often find people that have very large incomes but super low net worth. So the first obstacle to building wealth is to realize, hey, do you have a spending problem? All right, the second obstacle to building wealth is an income problem. Okay, so this is someone that actually does pretty well at watching their expenses, and they do keep their expenses low, but the challenge is they don't earn enough income, or they're not working to increase their income over time, to learn new skills and to raise their income. Now, you do not need to have a super large income in order to build wealth, right? Again, go read The Millionaire Next Door. I've seen many clients that have built a very large net worth, right? Become millionaires on a very small income, or relatively small income. However, you do need to pay attention to this, right? There is a certain level where it is difficult to live beneath your means, right? And so you need to understand this is a potential obstacle as well. Some people do very, very good at monitoring their expenses, and they don't have a real spending problem, but they do have an income problem, right? And so if this is you, you need to challenge yourself to your limiting beliefs, right? You need to figure out what skill sets do you need to go acquire to increase your income. It doesn't mean you have to make $1 million a year. You don't. You can build wealth on a relatively modest income, but you do need to understand if you truly have an income problem. Now, the third obstacle to building wealth, and this one is going to be really challenging, and this is people that have both a spending problem and an income problem, right? Now, if this is you, right, you're really not earning a lot of income, but you're still spending like you earn a lot of income. You have both an income problem and a spending problem. This is a recipe for absolute failure, and you're not going to be able to build wealth. And so you got to really be honest with yourself and say, hey, which of these obstacles, right, do I have? Do I have a spending problem? Do I have an income problem? Or do I potentially have a spending and an income problem? Right? Either way, these obstacles can be overcome, right? We live in the best time, right, with endless opportunities. So this can be overcome, right? You can both raise your income, but you do have to pay attention to both. If you don't have an income problem and you don't have a spending problem, what I will tell you is you are building net worth, right? Because again, if your income is here and you're working to raise it and you're watching your expenses, right, the larger this gap is between your income and your expenses, that gives you more money to be able to save and invest in all different things to accumulate wealth, right? And so these are the main 3 challenges and obstacles for wealth building. So what I want to challenge you is, hey, which of these problems, if any, are you facing? Right? Do you have a spending problem? And if you do, that's okay. Acknowledge it and work on it, right? Work on it and to control your spending. Because what I will tell you is You can't outspend it. You can't out earn it, right? There are plenty of stories of people who have earned millions and millions of dollars, even millions of dollars per year. And if they spend more than that, right, then there is no gap between their spending and their expenses. They don't build wealth. Okay, so you always have to have this discipline, this habit to try to spend, right, less than you are making. So if you have a spending problem, address it. One of the number one ways you can address it is to track it. Track where you're spending money, and then ask yourself why you're spending money on those things. Most often, the reason people have a spending problem is they're spending money to impress other people. That is the number one reason why most people have a spending problem. They're buying things they really don't necessarily want to impress people they don't always like with money they don't have. All right. So if you have a spending problem, be honest with yourself, right? Get on a budget, track, and work on it, right? Don't just ignore it. But you also might have an income problem. And if you have an income problem, then you need to think about, hey, what can I go out and do, right, to go generate more income? Maybe you're going to have to work a little harder for a season. Maybe you're going to have to lean in and learn some new skills. Maybe you have to work on your mindset, all right, because you can earn more income, right? Everybody has the ability to do it. There's so many opportunities. And so learn new skills, lean into it. And if you have an income problem and a spending problem, right, you better get serious. But the way you will know if these are challenges for you is by looking at your net worth, right? If you don't have these obstacles, right, then what you're going to find is that your net worth will gradually increase over time. And over time, right, you can accumulate great wealth, just like the book, The Millionaire Next Door, talks about. Say, hey, I hope this is helpful. If you have any of these challenges, obstacles to wealth building, face it head on. Hey, if you found value, please like and subscribe to the channel and go make it a great day.